Hey, credit heroes, what if I told you that one bad debt could count against you twice, even though it's the same exact account? Sounds crazy, right? But it happens every day. It's reported once as a charge-off and then again as a collection. But here's the wild part. Most people don't even realize that a charge-off and a collection are two completely different things. And if you treat them the same way, you'll use the wrong strategy, you'll waste months of effort, and you'll stay stuck with bad credit that could have been fixed. So in this episode, I'm going to break down the truth behind both, and I'm going to show you the exact steps to fight back, get deletions, and win. And as a bonus, I'm going to give you the exact letters you can use totally free so you can start fixing those accounts right away. So you better stick around.
My name is Daniel Rosen, and welcome to Credit Repair Business Secrets.
A charge-off and a collection are not the same thing, and it's easy to see why people think they are. Debt is stressful. Most clients don't want to look too closely at their reports. They just see scary words like charge-off or collection. Their score drops and it all feels the same, just more bad news. So the first thing is to really understand the difference between a charge-off and a collection. What's a charge-off? A charge-off happens when you stop making payments on a debt, usually a credit card or a personal loan, and the original creditor decides, you know what? We're done trying to collect this. We're going to write it off as a loss. Now, this typically happens after 180 days of non-payment, which is 6 months. And here's what most people don't understand. When something gets charged off, the debt doesn't just disappear. I wish it did, but no. The creditor is just telling the IRS, hey, we're taking a loss on this account for tax purposes. But, and this is huge, you still owe the money. The charge-off stays on your credit report as a negative mark, and it absolutely destroys your credit score. We're talking a drop of 100 points or more depending on the credit profile. Here's where it gets tricky. Even though it's charged off, the original creditor still owns that debt. They can still try to collect, they can sue, and they can garnish wages. The charge-off status doesn't protect you from collection agents. It just means that the creditor wrote it off on their books. That charge-off also stays on the credit report for up to 7 years, dragging down the score. What's a collection? A collection account appears when a debt gets sent to or sold to a third-party collection agency. This can happen with charge-offs, but it can also happen with medical bills, utility bills, gym memberships, and pretty much any kind of debt. And here's the key difference. With a collection, you are now dealing with a different company than the original creditor. The original creditor either hired a collection agency to collect on their behalf, or they sold the debt entirely to a debt buyer. And let me tell you, collection agencies are a different beast. They're aggressive, they're motivated, and they often have very little documentation about the original debt because it's been passed around like a hot potato. You're probably wondering, what is the real difference between these two? Well, a charge-off is reported by the original creditor. It's still their account. Collections are reported by a third party, the collection agency, or debt buyer. Charge-offs can become collections. You might have both reporting on the same debt, which is actually a violation that you can use to get the items removed. And why does this matter? Because your dispute strategy changes completely based on who's reporting. And if you mix them up, you'll send the wrong letters, you'll negotiate with the wrong party, and you won't get results. With a charge-off, you're dealing with the original creditor who has all the documentation. They have the original contract, the payment history, they have everything. So they're harder to challenge on accuracy because they have the paper trail. But with collections, you're dealing with a third party who might have bought the debt for pennies on the dollar. They often have incomplete documentation, and that is your golden opportunity. Now that you understand the difference, let's get into the fun part. How to actually remove these from a credit report. Because the strategy you use for a charge-off is completely different from what you'd use for a collection. So let's start with charge-offs. For charge-offs, number one, dispute for accuracy first. Look for any errors in dates, balances, payment history, or account status. Even small mistakes give you grounds for dispute. Number two, request full documentation. Under the FCRA, demand that they verify everything, and sometimes they can't, especially on older accounts. Number three, negotiate pay for delete. Now, this one's controversial, but it does work. You negotiate with the creditor to pay the charge-off in exchange for the deletion from the credit report. Now, this is the important part. Make sure to get this agreement in writing before you pay a single penny. And I mean it. If they won't put it in writing, don't do the deal. Number four, use goodwill letters. If your client had a good payment history before the charge-off, you can write a goodwill letter explaining the circumstances that led to the charge-off and requesting deletion as a courtesy. This works really well with smaller creditors or credit unions. For collections, number one, send a debt validation letter immediately. This is your nuclear option. Demand proof that they own the debt, proof of the amount, and proof that they are licensed. And if they can't validate properly, they must remove it. You can download this exact letter for free at creditrepaircloud.com/dispute-letters/debt-validation. Number two, challenge their authority. Verify that the collection agency is licensed in your client's state. Many aren't, which makes the entire collection invalid. Number three, know the statute of limitations in your client's state. If it's time barred, that's leverage in your negotiations. But here's a warning, even a tiny good faith payment might restart the clock in some states, so you'll want to check your local laws. Number four, settle for deletion at a discount. Collection agents are often more willing to do pay for delete deals than original creditors because they bought the debt for so little. You can often settle for 30 to 50% of the balance and get a deletion, and again, get it in writing first. Now, here's an advanced strategy, the 1-2 punch. When you see both a charge-off from the original creditor and a collection agency, and they're reporting the same debt, you've got them in a violation. See, the same debt cannot legally be reported twice, so dispute both accounts simultaneously and cite that they are duplicates, inflating the total debt owed. Here's my final point. The biggest mistake that I see credit heroes make is treating all negative items the same. You need to identify what type of account you're dealing with, understand who's reporting it and why, and then deploy the specific strategy that works for that situation. Remember, be methodical, document everything, and never, ever, ever give up. And I'll end by saying, if you want to learn how to remove late payments fast, check out my step-by-step guide here. And if you'd like to improve your credit score and discover how to earn extra income repairing credit for others, check out my brand new Start Repairing Credit Challenge. So sign up right now at startrepairingcredit.com and keep changing lives.